salute y'all. It's your boy Tim Snow. Got another one here for you, man. I just want to say what's up to everybody here.
Yeah, for when you a fella, I say, you got me, man. That's what I'm saying.
Your boy Tim Snow. Takes for the story family. Salute y'all. It's your boy Tim Snow. Takes for the story family. Salute y'all. It's your boy Tim Snow.
Takes Prison Story Family Salute. Y'all, it's your boy Tim Snow back here with another one. Appreciate everybody tapping in. If you're watching live, double tap the screen for me. Let's get them likes up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, share the video out, all that good stuff everybody says. I appreciate it. You know me, man. I take breaks from the content, but I'm getting ready to get back on it right now. And there's been a lot of stuff going on. If you watched the last video, we talked about 2 murders on Pulaski unit, where one guy was stabbed 50 times. Another was a MS-13 machete murderer killed over there. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going. And they actually just released a news article from the Houston Chronicle saying that the violence in the Texas prison right now is at a 10-year all-time high in the last 10 years. And the crazy part is the staff themselves, the prison system, is blaming it on massive amounts of contraband, right? Which has always been there. The inmates themselves, when you ask them, are blaming it on the harsh punishments and restrictions due to the contraband. You basically have what they're calling anti-drug enforcers right now. If you watch the podcast that me and AR-15 did, man, maybe damn near a year ago, when they were getting ready to instate this new rule where they're doing a group punishment. If one person on your cell block gets caught with contraband, smoking, anything like that, K2, whatever, then the entire cell block is getting locked down for 15 days. Everybody's losing visits. Everybody's losing their tablets, phone calls, commissary, everything. And exactly what we said is happening. The violence is erupting. People are losing their lives behind it. People are getting life flighted off these units because of it. And TDC is basically putting the power back in the inmates' hands, similar to when they did the old building tender. You know, in the 70s, 60s, into the early 80s, they let the prison be ran by the inmates. The difference was back then, the inmates had the power to do what they want without getting in trouble. Now they've left it back up to the inmates, but the inmates are getting indicted. They're going back to court, getting more time, everything like that. And it's just a broken system, right? You expect these inmates to punish each other, but then you want to punish them for punishing the inmates. It don't make any sense, y'all. It really don't. And if you've seen the title of the video, we've had a couple crazy incidents happen recently. Real crazy. One of them shocked me. It happened about a week ago on McConnel unit. The McConnel unit is a South Texas maximum security unit that's been notorious for rocking and rolling. Like, it's a dangerous place. You don't hear a lot about it on YouTube. You don't hear about a lot of people talking about it, but it's definitely a dangerous place, deadly spot, a lot of life sentence inmates, a lot of gangs, stuff like that. But yeah, a Crip member was unalived on McConnel unit by a cellmate, right? And here's what's crazy. It was a brutal homicide. His cellmate was a white guy. And as you know, anybody that's been to prison, when people of different races kill each other, it causes a bunch of problems, like more problems than normal, all right? It's almost worse than 2 different gangs doing it. It's about the same thing. One thing I've said a bunch of times on this channel is Texas prisons need to get like the feds. In the federal system, you can't pick what cell block you live on, but you can pick who your cellmate is, right? And most of these murders that we're having in Texas, if it's not due to the drug restrictions and all of that crazy stuff that I just talked about, it's just one-on-one problems with cellmates. You're forced to live with somebody and you don't get to pick it. The only rule in the Texas prison system is that you're supposed to be within 50 pounds of each other. I'm 225, right? So that means I can be in a cell with anybody from 175 up to 275, right? Think about that. That's kind of scary if you're in there with somebody 275 and he's aggressive and you got to handle this man. He got 50 pounds on you, right? This is real life. And this death, it's horrible. The man basically, if what I'm hearing is right, he definitely attempted to decapitate the man. in the cell. It was bloody. It was nasty. It was a horrible murder. And they said they didn't discover that the man had done this until 3 hours later. So the white guy stayed in the cell with the body for 3 hours while the guy was laying on the ground bleeding out, probably shaking, shivering, evacuating his bowels and all that type of stuff. And about 3 hours later, I guess they came around for count or doing their little walk around or whatever that they're supposed to do real often, but of course they don't. And they found the man was deceased. The other crazy part to it is the white guy that done this to the Crip dude, he's notorious and known for being violent to his cellmates. All right. He's a known man to be aggressive and attack cellmates. Why was he even with a cellmate? You know, they have guys in there with mental problems and all kind of stuff. They put them on single cell status. But with the overcrowding that's happening and everything right now, I guess they're not worried about that, right? So they literally had a man in there almost get decapitated with a cellmate that he probably shouldn't have been in there with. Think about that. So that's something that some of the prison activists, reformists, I've never heard any of them talk about because I don't think they're aware of it. That's what's causing half of this violence, is forcing men that do not like each other to live together. And all that comes from Texas still being bitter with the lawsuits that from the old days when they had to desegregate the cell blocks, right? They hold a grudge a long time ago. If we're gonna desegregate these cell blocks, we're gonna roll the dice and y'all gonna live with anybody. And it's just caused so many problems, problem after problem after problem. And I've seen it myself. That's how sexual assaults happen. That's how brutal extortion. We talked about it. Shout out to my homie Shannon. Me and Shannon talked about it recently, where there was the guy that got starved out in a cell. The man literally died of malnutrition. Y'all think about that. Appreciate everybody watching. Y'all double tap the screen for me if you're watching live. Let's get these likes up. Mr. D, how you doing? Everybody in the chat, salute, man. I'll get to it in a minute. I apologize for not speaking yet, but I'll get there in a few. Yeah, so listen. Recently, a man was starved to death in his cell from his cellmate. Think about that. So when they started, we're going to assume they were about 50 pounds within each other's weight. But imagine how little he got when he was malnourished. I want to say he was down to something like 130 pounds. 125 pounds, was a big guy. Literally skin and bones, like a Holocaust victim or something. It's horrible, you know, and there's just been too many lives lost because you're forced to live with people that you don't like. It's a damn shame. I don't know why they keep doing that. It's not like there's not a precedent in another prison system where it works well. If it was some revolutionary idea, nobody ever did it anywhere else, I can understand, right? But it's not. So, you know, rest in peace to that man right there. I'm not sure why they got into it, but it's real possible that the white guy's just a psych patient, you know, and that can go multiple ways in a prison, right? Like, it obviously wasn't a sanctioned hit. No prison gang put a hit on this guy. It wasn't a move by the woods to take nobody out or nothing. It was literally man on man in the cell. They got it on. So thankfully, I believe cooler heads prevailed. I haven't heard anything about any prison riots or race riots about it, anything like that. But that man ever comes back to population, which he probably won't, he's out of there. He's out of there. He's not going to last on no prison unit ever again. But honestly, they're liable to send him to death row because this is Texas. With a brutal murder like that, it didn't hit much media, but people are going to talk about it after seeing this. So, you know, it's a sad world, right? On Ramsey unit the other day, this what was crazy. Listen, on Ramsey unit, there's some kind of SEG program. I was kind of I really didn't understand what program it was. I've never been over there. Ramsey is a unit where it's a lot of old timers, a lot of guys serving long sentences. It's also where they have SEG, they have PC over there. It's called administrative safekeeping. That's where SPM is. But there's a lot of hardcore dudes over there, you know, and two of the guys in the program that they were in some kind of SEG program, they were going to school. It was the only thing they're supposed to be let out. Both of them made shanks, and they had a one-on-one head of fade with the knives. like mutual combat with the knives. And of course, one of them made it and one of them didn't. I'm hearing that both of them got cut, right? This is unconfirmed rumors right now, but I think it's true that both of them got sliced up pretty bad. Both of them were ugly, but one of them deceased. All right, so here we go with two guys that really shouldn't even be around each other. I don't know their races. I haven't heard anything like that. And then I believe the next day, somebody else on Ramsey got hit with a fan motor, right? And I don't think we talked about that a lot. But of course, Texas prisons are super hot. They sell the little fans on commissary. So the dudes will take the fans, they'll break them down, take the motor out, put it inside of some socks, a sheet, anything they can, mostly a sheet. Smack that thing across the head. And boy, it's horrible. It's horrible. My cousin, I did a video that my cousin wrote a letter when I first started this channel. He was describing the sound of a fan motor hitting a human's head. And he said, you ain't never seen nothing in life till you see that. And 9 times out of 10, damn near 10 times out of 10, you're not going to see that fan motor coming. It's a sneak attack, right? Unless it's a riot and y'all head up or whatever, they're going to walk up and crack you across the head from behind. And it's just lights out, y'all. Not always fatal, but always life-changing. A lot of guys have mental disabilities now. They're in lifelong comas. They're slow now, you know, similar to Parkinson's disease and all this because these fan motors have hit them. It's not the life you want, y'all. As you know, this channel is all about this is not the life you want. So just imagine y'all sitting in the day room playing some dominoes, having a good old time, and somebody sneaks behind you and smacks you with a fan motor and a sheet. That is not cool. You know what I mean? Not cool. Oh, what else happened? There's been some other things happen too. More violence, everything. As I said, they're reporting now that the violence in a Texas prison is hitting a 10-year maximum, and the system is blaming it on the drugs, and the inmates are blaming it on the drug crackdown. Look, it says prison officials have attributed the change to a wave of contraband ferried in by more sophisticated and creative criminal networks. Yet inmates say the prison's agency's draconian contraband fighting measures, which include group punishment and years-long losses of key privileges, have given rise to more violence, spurring some prisoners to act as brutal anti-gang enforcers. That's pretty serious right there. You got inmates acting as anti-drug enforcers, while the other half are selling and using drugs. They're creating a war inside these Texas prisons. It says in prison oversight experts have attributed the shift to long-term decline in prison staffing levels, particularly at some of the state's largest facilities, including Pulaski, where state data shows close to half of correction officers' jobs are vacant. Think about that. Pulaski unit where is death row, one of the most dangerous prisons in Texas, is 50% job vacancy. How do you expect these people to control this prison when it's like that? That's why they're not even coming on cell blocks anymore, y'all. These men are running these cell blocks by themselves. They're not running field squads anymore. They're just doing the bare minimum. A lot of days they can't run chow, so everybody's getting Johnnies, basically staying locked down constantly. Like, it's the system's fault. It literally is. What's happening right there, they can't hire people. Well, why the hell can't you hire people? Again, follow the model like in California. They do. They pay them prison guards. All of them make 6-figure salaries. They make twice what they do in Texas. Twice what they do in Texas. There'll be a whole bunch more people going to sign up with them good state benefits making 6 figures. Instead, they want to keep bird feeding these people. When there's a 50% staff shortage, guess what? That means 100% of them are having to work too much. They're stressed out. They're working overtime shifts, and then they don't pay the guards on time for their overtime in a lot of these prisons. So hell no, nobody wants to do this. They don't. Then when you're locked in, it's literally every man for themselves type shit, right? People always say when you tell them about murders and you tell them about things that happen, well, where were the guards? Shit, when it comes to stuff like this, what guards? What guards? They got enough to staff the pickets, the control booth. They got enough to have them driving around in the in the cars and in the towers. They don't even have enough people to walk these cell blocks and do these things. That's why every man for themselves right now. That's why things are going to shit. If you didn't pay attention, I don't even know if I talked about it because I hadn't made too much content, but they just did all G4 and G5 inmates on a 30-day lockdown. They let them off for 1 day and put them right back on a 30-day lockdown. This is supposed to be the most restrictive area in a prison other than Ad Seg, and these guys are in here wilding out. You know, I ain't mad about it for them. They would rather it like that. But what the fuck? It's purely it's because the guards aren't there. You know what I mean? They can't do nothing. They can't do nothing. On one of the prisons where one of my friends are recently, maybe about 3 months ago, I didn't talk about this. There was a Hispanic guy and a black guy having a head-up one-on-one fair fight. The black guy, the Hispanic guy started to fall. The black guy hit him on the way down. And you know, in a Texas prison, there's no hitting a man while he's down rule, right? So the Hispanic guys that are around, they jump in. Well, the dude that hit him was a Crip. So guess what? It ends up being about 9 Crips. Oh, hold on, I'm sorry. 9 Hispanics on about 5 Crips at that time. The Hispanic dudes were smashing them dudes, man. But guess what? On the other section over there, the Crips was over there deep. They started beating and kicking on the doors and yelling and telling them, look, man, they're winning over there. Let us out. The guard popped the door and let them out. Next thing you know, it's about 25 Crips on however many Hispanics. All right, like that's the type of shit that goes on. You're trying to save your homeboy, stick by these prison rules, and then the guard pops the door and lets them in, and now y'all losing. Y'all getting smashed, fighting for your life. You know, it's just crazy as can be. But you know, the point to this show at all times is this is not the life you want, and it's not. You know what I mean? And it's not getting any better. You'll hear a lot of the old timers say, "Oh, prison is a daycare nowadays. Prison is a daycare." I'm sorry, man. They've been having more murders now than they did in the old days. They really have. They're just killing for different reasons. They're not. It's not Texas Syndicate versus Mexican Mafia and all this shit no more. Now it's drug debts, people getting them locked down because of drugs, personal problems. Like it's bad. That little tablet makes it a lot better, but it ain't stopping anything. You know, they got this K2 stuff in there. That's K2 is worse than crack, believe it or not, y'all. It's worse than crack, and it's everywhere, and it's in every prison system, every prison in all countries. They're smoking K2 in prisons in Europe. They're smoking K2 in prisons in Australia, England, Central America, Canada. They're smoking it everywhere. It's a drug dealer's dream and something that you want for a captive audience, because about the second or third time you smoke it, your ass is stuck. All right? Jesse said it's like a big trap house. It really is. So listen, it's a drug dealer's dream. For one, it's easy to sneak in. They can bring it in on papers, liquid. Before they stopped the mail, it was coming in through the mail every single day. People are getting strung out on their second and third time using it, and if they try to stop, they're getting sick. Right? So listen, somebody was just posted on Facebook the other day that I want to say they were a Middleton unit, something like that, that a dude tattooed a penis on his face for some K2. Right? That's how strung out he was. He tattooed a picture of a penis on his face for K2. Imagine that. You got to be at the lowest point of your life to do something like that. And that's what they're doing. It's horrible. It's horrible. You know what I mean? Miss D, what's up, Miss D? Solid Behind Blue Eyes. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to their channel. She hasn't been doing too much content, but got a lot of good stuff on there. Hope Two Scoops is doing all right. Tell him I said much love from Texas. But I don't know, me and baby girl still doing good down here. I haven't been making much content myself. But it is. Equalizer say Alabama prison is far worse now. Shit, they're all getting worse. They're all getting worse. They're not getting better. They're all worse. All of them had the same thing. J Max said, do I know about mineral wells? Yeah, we got a couple videos on this channel about mineral wells. P100 did one with us. Triple D, Big Ben from D-Town did one. Mental Wells was rock and roll. Bobo in the comments right now was in Mental Wells. So yeah, Fred, what's up, Fred? Salute to everybody, y'all. So they're building 2 mega prisons right now. Yeah, so listen, the crazy part is Texas prison population is down compared to what it used to be, but the violence is up, right? And a lot of it really is what we predicted and what we said, y'all, where they're talking about they are punishing everybody for one person's misbehaving. Now, why that sounds like a good idea to them, I have no idea. I really don't, because that's unbelievable. That's literally, as that article said, draconian measures, right? Let me see this real quick. All right, it's also saying overdoses up, which we know that. And here goes something else. They're starting to see something, say something that they started doing. They literally have like a snitch line on these tablets. Like, this life is getting worse in there, man. Still feeding you this horrible food. Now you're, what's up, Wayne? Salute, man. I did go back to work. You know what? But that wasn't working out, Wayne. I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking for another job right now. Hopefully I'll find something. I don't know. I shouldn't have went. I love my boss and everybody I was working for, man, but that's just not for me no more. It wasn't working out well at all. I was miserable, so I'm looking for something right now. Hopefully, Lord will send me something my way, or I'll go find it myself. Look at that. Yeah, I know it. Hell yeah, there's videos, so many videos out. Inmates vomiting, laying in pools of vomit, pools of urine, this crazy, crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just horrible. Hey, Bobo, I seen that about Lou Sterrett County Jail, that 100+% capacity. You know what amazes me though? I figured they already would be. Harris County been like that for as long as I can remember, man. In Harris County Jail, when I went years ago, you had people sleeping on the floor, people sleeping next to the toilet, people put their mats in the shower at night, people on top of the picnic tables, people under the tables. Man, they had bringing them little lowrider beds. Harris County's to the point now where they gotta send people to other states. They got Louisiana. They got Harris County inmates in Louisiana. They got Harris County inmates in West Texas. Like, they've been over 100% for so long. Like, it is unbelievable. That's part of the reason why they call Harris County the death house, by so many people dying there, because you had these overcrowded, crazy living conditions where people are so violent. They're coming in from in these different neighborhoods, fight each other. You have north side, south side problems, different neighborhoods all through the place. They're not getting along. And I'll tell you what was horrible back then when I went. They were sending people in there to the general population and even aggravated tanks on weekend sentences, man. You know what? They was getting done bad every single weekend. If you came in there and you had on some nice shoes, you were not leaving with them. None of that. You wasn't gonna eat the entire weekend. They was gonna take your trays for the entire weekend, take your shoes. They was gonna do you bad, man. They might just beat you around for fun. You know what I mean? And a lot of the guys doing the weekends, of course, they was white dudes. I hate to sound racial with that, but a lot of the white guys was getting weekends, while these black guys are in here serving county time and heading to the penitentiary. These Hispanics and the white guys that was going to prison, they were hardcore. So it was mostly like nerds. Nerds basically, right? Coming in, getting this little weekend time for their misdemeanor DWIs or things like that. It was horrible. Oh shit, Wayne, you had to do an appeal process for the hazmat? I'll be damned. When I first got my CDL, I tried to get the hazmat and got denied then too, because I was fresh out of TDCJ on an aggravated assault, and I had a retaliation on a witness back then. And Texas considers aggravated assault, or the feds or whatever who does a hazmat considers aggravated assault with a deadly weapon the same thing as attempted murder. So that was one of the crimes that excluded you. I had to wait 5 years out for that. It said Dallas County is at max 7,000 inmates, full cap. No one else can be jailed. No, they're gonna do like they do in Houston, man. They're gonna start renting out jail space in other places. You know, other county jails, other places. But that's kind of hard too, right? That's kind of hard too because the only good thing about a county jail bid is it's more expensive. The county jails are usually more violent even than a prison, believe it or not. In Houston, the guards are lethal the way that they'll handle you in Houston. So they're gonna start sending them out of state too. I wouldn't doubt it if Dallas County inmates started serving their county time in Oklahoma, because it's close. Maybe they'll send them to West Texas, places like that, you know, private facilities. So it's gonna be serious. I mean, they're gonna have to spend some money, is what's gonna happen. But if Dallas County is like the other counties, man, they're locking people up and giving them too much time for misdemeanors. You know, misdemeanor people, man, should probably be PR bonds at all time. If it's a misdemeanor, non-violent misdemeanor, you probably need to give them a court date and let them go. You know, look for how long they were doing the illegal immigrants. When they would catch them, they would tell them register with the app, let them out, and meet you at court later. But the damn, you get caught with one joint, or you get caught no seatbelt. They're arresting people for no seatbelts and things like that. Certain places, you know, your ass is stuck in there forever. The court system is backlogged. You're gonna be you're gonna be in the county jail, lose your job, your car might get impounded, all this crazy stuff for misdemeanors. When really most of them just need to be a PR bond or shouldn't even be an arrest. Oh yeah, 2020. So yeah, man, that's what's happening then. Mr. D, what they're doing with so they're arresting so many people around here for no seatbelt. I seen people, David, what's up? Shout out from, let's say TC. Shout out from next door in Lamarck, man. So here, they're arresting people nowadays for no seatbelt, failing to stop with 100 feet and, no, hold on, failure to signal within 100 feet of the stop sign, failure to stop behind the white line. They're doing things like that so they can inventory your car. It's basically a way to search your car, your property, without probable cause, without a warrant. And people don't understand that those cases are arrestable offenses, right? Like a Class C misdemeanor can actually be arrestable. A speeding ticket, no seatbelt, things like that. And it's legal, right? It is legal for them to do it. But the whole thing is because when you get arrested and they tow your car, they have to do what's called an inventory of your car. And the inventory of your car basically is a search without a warrant, and anything that they find during the inventory, they can charge you with. So it's a legal tactic. I'm not going to call it a dirty tactic because it's legal, but it's something that hadn't always been done all the time. You know what I mean? Trey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. And look, J Max says, I ain't breaking no laws out here. I don't want to go back to the county now. The county jails are horrible. So one thing I'll say about Harris County, when I first got there versus Galveston County, Harris County was feeding us good compared to Galveston County. And I did have 3 fights in about 10 days in Harris County, though. I ain't gonna lie, like 3 good fights in 10 days. I was ready to get out of there. I signed for some state jail time and left out of there immediately because, for one, I wasn't from Houston. I wasn't from none of those neighborhoods. I had one homeboy in there, a cat named Ethan from City Gas. If anybody know him, tell him I said, what's up? I hadn't seen him in a long time. And during them 10 days, Ethan had to fight a whole bunch of times. I ain't gonna say he had to fight. He just knew what time it was. He was calling people, they call it fade to gray. When I first got there, like my first day, he was rolling 60 like I was. Ethan in there calling these dudes out by himself. And he didn't even know I realized what he was when he yelled his shit out. And I went up and hollered at him. Now, next thing you know, we're both in there fighting. I'm thinking, man, this is crazy, right? Like, but the one thing about it, anybody been in Harris County know they give you them Little Debbie snack cakes, right? When they gave me that Little Debbie snack cake on that tray, I was like, oh yeah, I can handle this. And then bam, next thing you know, people sleeping by the pisser. Yeah, people were so crowded in Harris County that you had people sleeping by the toilet, head down by the toilet too. Craziest thing I ever seen. Like people taking a leak, shaking it off in the middle of the night. It's flying on people. Of course, you know, in the jail pecking order or whatever you want to call it, it was the weakest of the weak sleeping over there. But there were people sleeping there. It was unbelievable. I don't know. Jesse said, I look at the type of cars I used to ride in, tent, no hubcaps, banging, and I know I was getting stopped daily. Now that's facts too. That's facts. Like, yeah, hoodoos. Guess what? Riding late at night. People out here riding late at night. I know where I live, right? There's people 24-hour traffic, but it slows down so much after midnight or whatever that when you're out riding at night, yeah, you're gonna have some eyes on you. You might necessarily get stopped, but they're gonna be looking at you like, what is this person doing? Something that my daddy told me when I was young that I wasn't thinking about at that time. So he told me also, when you see grown men riding in a car together, one driving, one passenger, especially if one is the back seat, the cops are almost always gonna focus on you. Because why do grown men even ride in a car together normally? They're usually up to no good. You know, they're going to hit a lick. They're going to go score something, going to go rob something, do something. You know what I mean? Mr. Silver, what's up, man? I hadn't done too many videos lately. That's what's going on, man. I need to step the content up. I'm not working right now. I'm looking for another job, so I got a little bit of time, and there's so much stuff to talk about. And I just been kind of neglecting this, man. I think I'm at 90,200 subscribers with something like 385 videos. So I've been blessed, man. I appreciate all the support from everybody, everybody, because it usually takes people way more than 300 some videos to get where I'm at, right? God has blessed this platform, looked out for me the whole time, and I know it and I appreciate it. And I basically look at it sometimes as wasting this blessing. And I need to keep going. Right, need to do this for my baby girl and pay some rent and everything else, you know, because it is monetized. Lady Texan, what's up, my friend? How you doing? She say, wear your seatbelt and you won't have a problem. True, but not true. You know, depends, because this is the thing. Especially in small towns, the cops know who's doing what. You know what I mean? The cops know who's doing what. So if you're already out there living that life, you can have your shit buckled up, insurance on the car, radio down, and they might still stop you. They might say they seen you swerve in the lane or something like that. But I agree with you that if you're out here a law-abiding citizen and they don't know nothing about you, then yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And hey, I always advise everybody, like my daddy told me, yes sir, no sir, when you get pulled over. I'm not trying that old I know my rights stuff. That old I know my rights stuff in Texas gonna get you railroaded and beat up. Like, that's not a good idea. Because they know your rights too. They don't give a damn. And I'm not anti-police at all, right? I'm not, but it's just real facts. When you want to live this life, when you want to be a criminal, gang member, drug dealer, drug user, then they become your enemies. And that's not people who you want to be your enemies. They have unlimited resources. They have the power of the courts behind them. They're riding around with AR-15s in their trunk and bulletproof vests on. Like, you do better not living a life with them people, your enemies. Lau Aldrete, how you doing, ma'am? I actually seen you in Houston. I seen you speak at the prison thing in Houston. That was my pleasure. Powerful speaker. Appreciate you being in this video too. Mo said, I used to pass through a small town to go visit my dad. I was in college. I go pick my rent check up. Cops would pull me over. There goes another one hitting a small town, and they don't know you. You know, it is what it is. Like, they're going to come get you. I was the same thing like Jesse said, man. I used to have a Mercedes on rims, dark tinted windows, be in different areas and wonder why, man, why are these cops looking at me all the time? Well, I'm a young cat in a Mercedes. Of course they're going to look. Had another car that was a Lincoln LS with the V8, with the big loud exhaust and the racing rims and the music and all that when I was young. Same thing. Go through small towns like Santa Fe, places like that I shouldn't even be, getting pulled over. Really would. Like, say my brother, rest in peace to my brother, was his birthday the other day. He's the one I talked about on here. He got 50 years for a tiny amount of cocaine, but it was because he was a habitual criminal. They hit him with the habitual. But his goofy self was riding through the hood in a bad area, and like, and I want to say it was like 2 in the morning, 2:15 after the club, with stuff on him, and he was in a Cadillac Escalade truck on 27s with the neon lights and everything fancy and all that. Of course they got him. You know what I mean? Like, got to be more smarter than that. But that's where we live and learn. You know, young people, silly people gonna draw attention to themselves when they don't need it. And that's why nowadays you'll see Snow riding around in the mom car. Because I got my kid with me. I ain't got no ego attached to it anymore. I really don't. Miss D, you have a great day. I appreciate you tapping in, man. Make sure you tell Two Scoops I said, hey, thinking about him at all times. I know it's not easy for him. For sure. Wish you the best. J Max say I'm letting my window down enough so they don't start tripping. Shit, you gotta let that thing all the way down if you don't want to start tripping. That's why I say I'm not doing, me personally, I'm not doing that. I know my right stuff. Not at all. I know how to say yes, sir, no, sir, and keep my hand on the steering wheel, right? I got violent felonies, all kind of stuff. I'm not playing with them people, man. I'm not trying to end up no victim of them because of my record. They're gonna be on extra alert. You know, I come back when they pull me over as a confirmed gang member, possibly armed and dangerous, and all this stuff. So I understand when I get stopped why they act like they do. And it's not their fault that I got all that on my record, because when my dad gets stopped, they don't do that to him. If my mama gets stopped, they don't do that to her. They're doing it to me because of shit I done in life. So I ain't giving them no problem. He said he's about to get a Pacifica van. No worries. And that's what I'm saying. For real, Southwest Houston. Salute, my man. Appreciate that. Shout out to the SWAT. Free my homeboy Polar Bear. All the homies from A-Leave, for real. Bunch of real solid characters out there. JW from the Bay Life. Shout out to the Bay, man. The Yay area. Much love. AC say the laws was just in his hood. Laws in my hood every day. I still live in the hood, so I don't go no days without seeing them. That's when I have to see them when I leave, see them when I come, hear the sirens going by, all that, you know what I'm saying? So basically you do better just blending in, staying out the way. I see so many of these young kids nowadays smoking in their car, which we did it too when I was young. But a terrible mistake. Terrible mistake. What you say, Wayne? I still got that warning from when they pulled me over. I'm like, I'm a CDL driver. Miss me with that BS. Go on ahead and search my car and give me a warning. Yeah. Yeah, no, like I say, man, I don't get no aggressive with the officers. There'll never be a time. I don't care how bad my day is going. I don't care what just happened. I don't care what I'm going through. If them lights get behind me, I'm going to act a certain way. And it's not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to act short-tempered, nor am I going to act nervous. I'm going to come with an instant play it cool. And it always, not always, because, you know, obviously I've been in jail, but it usually works. You got to calm them people down. Because nowadays, the way it is, too many people are attacking officers doing crazy shit. So they're coming at you, man. They're on high alert. They're on high alert. And the last thing I want to do is put their alert a little higher. No, sir. When I caught this Fed case down in Corpus, last time I went to prison, federal prison, man, I could look back and see the bullet through that man's barrel. He had a 45, and it was right in front of my face, man, about like 2 foot. And I swear on everything I love, I can see the bullet down the barrel. I can see the end of that bullet. And seeing that while he's shaking and nervous and telling him, don't move. His hand is literally shaking. Don't move, don't move, don't move. I'm telling him I ain't moving. I mean, I'm literally yelling at him. I'm not moving, man. I'm cooperating. He's so worried because I still had them gold teeth at the time. When I turned around, they're shining and reflecting in his face, and they weren't that common down there, that it just shocked him. And I'm having to tell him, calm down, man. Like, I'm literally talking the officer down because I got him shook. I understand. He walked up on my car and there was a gun sitting on the seat, and I'm counting money. Like, he didn't know what was going on. He's wanting to make it home to his family. And everybody's human. You know, I had to literally talk that man down from doing something to me. It was scary as hell. Had I been combative with him or moved fast or whatever, yeah, that probably would have been my life. I can calm down a little bit just to keep living, you know. He said, I'm about ready to get off parole, and I must say it takes a lot of self-restraint and respect to get through parole. It's possible, 100%. You got to focus on your future. And yeah, Trey, I did 3 years federal parole. And you know what? Anthony T say what you go. That's why I just said I had the gun, felon in possession of firearm. But parole is not that hard if your ass get a job and stop doing drugs. If you get a job and stop doing drugs, parole ain't hard at all. Parole is hard as hell if you're still trying to get high, fake them drug tests, don't want to work, you're behind on your payments, all that. Parole is near impossible. It's so stressful. You know what I mean? Oh, what do you say? Why I stop making them videos? Man, I've been doing this. I've been doing this now 6 years, and I always stop making these videos. If you want to know the truth, man, like this isn't something that I enjoy too much. I mean, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. It's for a purpose, but I'm not like excited every day I walk around. Ooh, I'm a YouTuber. You know what I mean? Nah, man. I got a daughter. I'm a single father. I raised a daughter. She's 7 now. She just had her birthday. Work a lot. Although right now I'm looking for another job. I work a lot. I have to come home, you know, feed my daughter. Now we're doing homework because she's in 1st grade, even though it's easy. Yeah, got to get her settled, play with her for a little while because she's a single child, you know, and all that. So it's just life, man. Life just gets in the way. If I did this full time, which I'm sure at this amount of subscribers I could do it full time, probably should be doing it full time, then it would be a little bit easier. But, you know, honestly, I've been a truck driver now. I had my CDL for what, 17 years. And that's for sure. There's a lot of people. Shout out to my bro, the homie Hangout in California. He just got his YouTube channel demonetized. It happens all the time. This one's happened to mine before for a little silly shit that we don't even realize that's happening to us. You know, so to literally sit here and bank and raise a child off some YouTube money, man, it's horrible, right? It's horrible because the stress is they can take it away at any time. This isn't a guaranteed deal. There's people that's had their channels deleted, false reported, mass reported, just hackers. Man, people with giant channels have had their channels hacked before. You know what I mean? He say, how did I become a single father? Usually it's mothers. I'm just curious, bro. I salute you. I've been a single father for 4 years right now, man. It's a long story. Her mother is alive and well, and she's in her life. Don't get me wrong. She sees her mom and everything, but I'm just a primary parent, man, because I feel like I can do it better. I was the one that had the career. I was the one that had the YouTube. You know, everything was jumping back then. It was booming, and shit, I love my daughter. I didn't want to give my daughter up and be the weekend dad. You know, it's my only child, man, and to be a weekend father, I didn't want that, right? Now I'm the everyday father. Me and my daughter, we got a little secret handshake that we just started, y'all. She comes up about once an hour, Daddy, let's do the secret handshake. We slap hands 2 times, fist bump, and then do like this, and then we finish it with a hug. Shit like that, priceless shit. You know, making sure that my daughter was at karate every week, things like that. You know, I ain't gonna say control freak, but I like to be the one making sure everything is straight. You know what I mean? And back then, everything wasn't right, so it is what it is. I don't want to get into it too much. I talked about it before. You know, it's old news. We don't beat the dead horse, but I've been doing it 4 years now. My daughter's 7, and I don't really see it changing no time soon. You know, I really don't. People always like, Snow, why you ain't dating? Why you ain't out here messing with these HOEs and all this other? Because I got a young daughter that's got to look up to her father. You know, they say children, especially girls, their self-image in life, right? Their self-esteem and their value as a woman has a lot to do with how their father treats them and other women, right? So I make sure my daughter don't see daddy do nothing crazy to women, and I spend my time with her. I tell my daughter every day, 3, 4, 5 times a day, how smart she is, how beautiful she is. She knows daddy's gonna keep her safe, you know. And the real true fact is, guess what? She keeps me out of trouble. Man, I couldn't go very long without staying out of trouble. I'm a lifelong gang member for real. Violent crimes, lifelong drug dealer too. You know, even went back to the feds driving trucks. I hate to say it, not proud of it, but she keeps me grounded, man. Because before her, I really didn't have nothing to live for, and that's the real facts. Like when you don't have nothing to live for out here, and that's how you're gonna live. You know, I'd say it all the time. At first, I didn't think I was gonna live to be 18 years old. Then at 18, I was like, man, ain't no way I'm gonna make it to 30. I get to 30, life was pretty good. I was settled in. I got married when I was about 30. I was driving 18 wheelers at 30. Mess around and go back to the feds at 35. You know, luckily it was just a simple felony in possession of firearm type deal. I got 3 years, come back out around 38, and that's when I had my daughter. So everything happens for a reason, right? I started this podcast, Texas Prison Stories, because my big brother that I talked about, he passed away in his prison cell. About the same time that I found out I was going to be a father, my brother passed away in his prison cell. I was coming home from the feds with a broken shoulder. I had my gold teeth kicked. My teeth was all kicked in, messed up. You know, I had to get them all fixed and shit. But I was coming home broken. Like, if you look at the older videos, I was broken, man. I was a shell of myself, and it was hurting me. And I said, you know what? No matter what I'm going through, where I'm from, people respect me, right? I got a good reputation. I ain't never did no BS. Like, people where I'm from, they respect me. They might don't like me all, but they respect me. And all through everywhere I've been, federal system, the state, I've been a state jail, TDC feds, everybody always respected me, whether they like me or not. And I said, it's going to take somebody like myself to come out and tell these kids, this is not the life you want. I appreciate that, Trey. Thank you. That's what it's going to take. Somebody like myself that has shot people, has stabbed people, have done all this crazy stuff, used to take shit out of town, you know, like, it's going to take somebody like myself to tell them why this ain't the life you want. Because you can just tell them all day, right? I can tell you all day, hey, man, this ain't the life you want. But if I don't detail explain it to you over and over again, you probably ain't going to catch it. And you ain't going to care. And then if it ain't somebody that's been through that constantly, then they're not going to listen to him either. Period, right? So I just bit the bullet. And I said, you know what? I got to do this. I want to do it. I got to do it. I'm going to do this for my brother. I'm going to do this for this kid that I'm, you know, raising. I'm going to do this for my mama because it destroyed my mama, the shit that we did. And all the other mamas out there, all the little brothers, you know, that are missing their family members. So that's what I did. I'm as far as I know, that started when this prison shit first started, because I was the first Texas prison content creator that I know about. Like, there was one 3-part video from back in the day that's gone, and that guy never continued. Then I came out, and then later OG Percy came out, some other people, you know, doing their thing or whatever, but I'm pretty much the one that led the way. But like I said, man, I have not stayed on the grind the entire time. There was a time where I went about a year without making videos, multiple times, 6 months not making videos, and God has just blessed me that the platform kept growing. Like, if the platform stalled and froze when I wasn't doing these videos, I probably would have just said F it. But even when I stop, it still grows. So that's always a message. You know, also I have Texas Prison Stories on Facebook, y'all. If you're on Facebook, make sure you follow Tim Snow, like it's wrote on the bottom. That's my personal page. On my personal page, all I do is memes, jokes, and play around. That's it. But if you want to come interact with me personally, follow my personal Facebook page, man. I answer back to the comments. We have fun. We play. But I also have the Texas Prison Stories Facebook page, right? And on that Facebook page, I post videos from all over the country, like prison videos, prison fights, things like that from everywhere. You know, not just Texas, because it doesn't matter what state it's coming from. It's all the same, and nowhere is the life you want. Still that nasty food, still locked away from women, still can't kiss your mama, can't kiss your girl, you know. And man, Saucy D's going up. He's up for parole right now. I haven't heard word, but he discharges that, I think, in 2026. So all else fails, Saucy D will be back on this channel next year. That's my brother. Love him from day one, man. We grew up together. We did time on the streets together, gang banging together. We was in the county jails together, and we was in prison together. You know, my daughter's name is Ellie Rose, and his daughter's name Della Rose. That ought to tell you something right there. You know what I mean? That's a real life OG cat, man, to the fullest. I can take care of that. I didn't even see that. Boy, people weird, ain't they? My bad, y'all. People strange. People is strange. But yeah, so worse come to worse, D'll be back. Somebody might have already got him. Damn. Oh, Wayne got him. Hey, Wayne, I appreciate it. Good looking out, Wayne. Wayne is moderator on point. That's what's up. But yeah, nah, Saucy D is my bro, man. And he's got, you know, his daughter is the same age as my daughter. They almost got the same name. Of course, yeah, nah, Saucy D is my bro. Sorry. Of course, mine's white and his black. But I wish nothing for the best for my brother, man. This is hard out here. And I think this time he's going to come out and do better. D was doing really good. He was doing good. He even had his own YouTube channel called Saucy D TV. It was blowing up quick. And then, bam, streets pulled him right back in. You know, I hate to see that. Yeah, Brody, you ain't lying. Listen, it was because I had the power of this channel behind him. You know, and he was a good storyteller. At that time, he did about 20 years in Texas prisons. He's up now to 25, more than 25 years, I would say. And he's only 45, 44. Man's done most of his life, TYC and all that. So when my brother gets back, he lost access to that channel, but we're going to start him something back. You better believe he'll be sitting right here next to me making some content and start his channel back too. But make sure y'all do me the favor though, man, and go follow the Facebook page too. So I'm really Texas Prison Stories on Facebook, Spotify, TikTok, IG, and YouTube. All right. And Facebook is my most fun place. I enjoy Facebook the most because it's an everyday, all day thing. But the personal page, Tim Snow, if anybody watching this, if y'all want to interact, y'all want to come joke, play, whatever you want to do, it don't matter. Just come on and get with it. You know, we're having a bunch of fun. But check this out, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody from tapping in. Before we leave, double tap the screen for me. Let's get them likes up. That's how you do it on the live stream. If you're watching the replay, just hit the thumbs up regularly. And I appreciate everybody for being here. Y'all, I'm going to get real active. I'm going to start doing this a lot more. And hopefully everybody has a blessed day. And just remember, y'all, this is not the life you want.
If y'all ain't subscribed to him, check it out. Texas Prison Story Family, salute y'all. It's your boy Tim Snow. Got another one here for you, man. I just want to say what's up to everybody here.
Yeah, for what you a fella. I say, yeah, man, that's what I'm saying.
It's your boy Tim Snow. Texas Prison Story Family, salute y'all. It's your boy Tim Snow. Texas Prison Story Family, salute y'all.